Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video, we're going to review NFL fantasy for week 6. No, sorry, week 5. I was still week 6 there. And another good week for us in the Dream Team Sportsdeck competition with the 539, which was a top 200 rank again for the week and has pushed us up into the top 200 overall. So halved our season rank again. So finally sort of getting to the place that would hope to be in terms of this season. So if we have a look at the team and how it went, and I haven't followed the scores too closely this week. DJ Moore upset me on Friday morning with going absolutely mental for the Chicago Bears, but also for my opponent in the redraft league that I'm in. So yeah, enough about that. So you can see the two quarterbacks doing the business. You know, this is why we've got them in, Allen and Hurts, both with the 56. So it didn't really matter which way we went with the captaincy. That's worked out well. Richardson, we may have to have a bit of a look at. Bit of an injury. Can't remember the nature of it, but it's something that could be a bit more than just a 1 week concussion sit out. Um, Christian McCaffrey with the 25. So I guess in a team that scored 42 points, you'd hope for a little bit more than that from him. But you know he's not going to get 90 every week, that's for sure. Kyron Williams a bit quiet, maybe with the return of Cooper Cup, just sort of airing it out a bit more. Bijan with the 21, so he's slow burning along. Um, and I guess with Barkley out again, we actually managed to get eight chains or a chan, sorry. Got it there the third time with a 41, so that's a very handy pickup for our team. Um, Wide receivers, so Justin Jefferson, another one with a bit of an injury cloud, hamstring injury, I think, from my memory. So 8 points isn't expected, but I guess if we need to trade him out, there's plenty of options at that price point. Tyreek Hill with a 56, he's killing it. He's averaging 45 for the year. Stephon Diggs with a 40, that's fantastic. Nakua, even with Cooper Cup back, is continuing to crush, so a 33. Lave did get a touchdown, so that helped him get to 16, but New Orleans attack is not looking that flash. Gabe Davis with a 38, so the Buffalo connection doing the job. Calvin Ridley with the 33, so we could have played him over Olave or even Jefferson. Not that we would have, but maybe a bit of a return to form there. And Sky Moore, I think he's a bit of a bust. We are just waiting for a potential option to trade him out. Tight ends, so the old and the new, I suppose. Kelsey and Laporta both killing it, 35 and 36 respectively. Musgrave with 12 off the bench, slow burning, that's perfectly fine. The goal kickers were a wash, so we had back Dallas to do all right against San Fran. It didn't really work out that way. But the defense is a turn up. The Cowboys with the -2 and the Bears with the +20. So if you had those two scores and those two teams, you probably would have bet on it being the other way around. But yeah, the Cowboys defense didn't seem to have a lot of answers for the San Fran guys. But that's okay. So I guess let's have a quick look at the overall scores. As I said, I haven't done too much. To snuck in the public league. That's nice, and got Austin's hecklers in the Super Coach Nuffs league. So continuing my streak in that league. Dropping dimes is going well. Also, I've seen that a few big scores there. Let's see anyone they've got that I've missed out on. I think pretty sure, yeah, they're the ones that had the very similar team to me. Brilliant, I love it. Wacko Jacko 493, so that's a bit stiff to get done with that sort of score. VC and Tyreek Hill, good move. So $5 foot long against got the bin chickens. I think talking to my mate Adam, the bin chickens, he's given up on this already. Yeah, struggling in our redraft league too. So if you are watching Big Fella, it's all good. And son of Brady did alright too, 521. So captain Tyreek, seems to be a decent option. The way Miami's attack's flowing at the moment. Yeah, Timmy's caddy got Tua on as the captain. Interesting he didn't score more given Tyreek Hill went off, but I suppose if he's the only one doing stuff, that would potentially help. So I guess trade options this week. Um, I guess we'll look at all the positions because you might have an Anthony Richardson that you need to trade for. So, Jordan Love, if you can reach him, he's on a bye this week, so actually probably not that. CJ Stroud had a bit of a down game uh, this week with 27, but he's in the range of possibilities. If you've got a couple of mil, probably if you can find 300k, I think Sam Howell's not the worst. I actually played him in my redraft league this week. Um, yeah, did a bit of a trade. I've talked up the double elite QBs all season, but I did actually trade Josh Allen. Got myself Eckler and Joe Burrow. So I thought I don't have to play Burrow this week. I'll back Howell in against the Chicago Bears, and then the Bears blew him out of the water. So at least it meant Sam Howell was throwing a bit at the end, got some nice points. Um, but yeah, just wanted to get an upgrade at running back, so sacrificed my guy, and Sam Howell is that sort of cheaper option that I've got there. Um, Ritter had a good game, but I definitely wouldn't want to trade him in. Mac Jones is struggling, and I'll be honest, I don't think his replacement is much better, so wouldn't worry about New England QBs, even if it is cheap. Bryce Young obviously missed a price jump with his injury, so if you need to downgrade, I think Bryce Young is an acceptable option. If it is a long term injury, you could also go with Minshew, obviously a like for like replacement at Indianapolis. Um, or I guess if you are looking to just nuff out, in a sense, Aiden O'Connell looked okay in the one game he got, at bottom dollar price essentially. He'd be the best of those cheapies that you'd only back in case of a, emergency situation. Other than that, yeah, they're all not getting games, so that's fine. Um, and the running backs, let's get rid of, let's say, four, just have a bit of a look at what's around. So Mostert, you'd imagine his price has peaked after his massive game a couple of weeks ago. Sort of similar to A Chain, but A Chain does look like he's still getting a lot of work. A Chain, sorry, I'll get the name right eventually. Uh, Travis Etienne finally had a big game, so I guess if you are looking to cash out of A Chain, Etienne is on the rise. Zach Moss had a big game, even though Jonathan Taylor's back. Um, so speaking of which, we'll see if we can find him. He'll be a fair way down the list. Uh, Further, way down. Yeah, so scored a 7. So obviously you can wait another couple of weeks for his price to dip. Um, and by that time, hopefully his game time is increasing. So if we can time it right, we can get Jonathan Taylor at a really nice price. But just going back up towards the top, Montgomery's still doing well. DeAndre Swift went okay. Pacheco looks pretty consistent for Kansas City. Josh Jacobs, 34, so he's sort of back on the rise. So if you like him, he's probably bottomed out in price. You can see he did jump 400k. So yeah, it might be worth a look. Tony Pollard had a bit of a stinker, but Dallas were behind the whole game. So he might be another one we can catch on the dip. Derek Henry didn't do much. So Brees Hall, so another one who's bottomed out. We might have a bit of a look to see if we can get him in. That could be nice. Khalil Herbert got injured as well, so you may want to look at Roshan Johnson, wherever he may be. Yeah, so he's still under 4 mil, so it could be worth a look. Actually, Kamara's the other one too, so averaging 31. His price hasn't changed yet because he's only played the 2 games. So, he might be another target this week if you're looking to get on him before his price jumps. Um, Other than that, don't know if there's too much to report. Jaleel McLaughlin, his price jumped up a fair bit. Um, this weekend scored well again, but I think Javonte Williams isn't too far off. Not sure why Jerome Ford missed actually. I'll have to have a look into that. Haven't really followed him, but I was putting him back in the side. So wide receivers, as I said, if you've got Justin Jefferson, you may be looking to make a move. TJ Moore with a 90, like I said, he killed me in the redraft league. Jamar Chase, 89, so yeah, he looks like he's back in business. So, he's only 110k off where he started. So those who had him hopefully kept the faith. AJ Brown, 31, but looked really good. Adam Thielen's playing surprisingly well. George Pickens went all right, but he's on bye this week. CD Lamb's dipping in price. St. Brown's out injured, so Josh Reynolds picked up a bit of work off the back of that. DeAndre Hopkins, probably first sort of good game for the year. Curtis Samuels scored all right, but yeah, the average probably is more accurate. Zay Flowers, so I think, yeah, the 50% that started with him are probably happy or happier than, I guess, those that started with Sky Moore, like myself. Um, so nothing too interesting through here. T. Higgins, when he comes back, could be a nice cheaper option. But yeah, nothing particularly jumps out as must buy in this part of it, or at this point in time anyway. So I'll just put Jefferson back. Tight end we can have a quick look at, but again, this is where you probably don't really need to be wasting too many trades. I mean, if you want to upgrade to Andrews, that's always a good option. George Kittle had a big game, but I guess that's not to be expected. Got it. Yeah, got a lot more work in that game. So, you know, sneaky sort of price, but I mean, Laporta's the same price. I probably prefer Laporta at the moment. Um, yeah. Other than that, it's a bit of a crapshoot. Kyle Pitts finally had a half decent game, but not expecting that on the regular. And yeah, so I guess all in all, like I said, it does depend on the injuries. Um, but initially, what I'm thinking is, well, if Jefferson is out, the obvious replacement in my mind is actually just going straight to his offsider, wherever he is. Can't find it. Surely he's not that low. Jordan Addison, there we go. So, he seemed to take over a fair bit of the workload. The Vikings do like to throw the ball around, so, and essentially what we would do is just hold him for that time. He'll lift in price. Jefferson won't necessarily go down because he's not playing, but, it just gives us more of an opportunity to make money and bring him in. And then with the leftover money, probably inclined to hold Richardson just because for me, I've got the two guns. He's not going to do much anyway. It's not really worth trading out someone to trade Richardson back in. But again, it all depends on the length of injury. So what I'm leaning towards is maybe upgrading forward. Um, and the exact person who is, I'm not sure. Probably ETN looks very good because he is going to boost up in price a bit more after 64. Um, could go aggressive and go like a Josh Jacobs type or that. Brees Hall is probably the other option. So, ooh, I mean, Brees Hall's a bit cheaper, so we might do a bit of Brees Hall. And I mean, also with going down from Jefferson, is we can also get rid of Sky Moore, which is nice. Um, and at that price point, we can't quite afford a Chase or an Allen or a Brown. The elite guys, which is why I'm probably not as excited to do this. But we would be having a stab at like a CD Lamb that's fallen, or those sort of type of players. Um, but realistically, we do want to upgrade to a out and out gun. So what we could do is maybe upgrade Olave. He looks a bit of a bust, and then it's just we pick who we want. So um, so I guess looking at matchups, Allen against Dallas, they've just been embarrassed. Probably not. AJ Brown against the Jets. Their defense isn't the worst. New England aren't looking too flash, so maybe Devontae Adams is the way. Or we could, ride the Jamar Chase wave. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we might go the double stack. So we've stacked Diggs and Allen. We'll go Brown and Hurts, and we could do something like that. So use our third boost, but that's fine. And I guess then what our team is starting to look like is pretty good. Like we could play Hall. I think we could play A Chain just fine. Actually, what's his? Yeah, so the 98's out of his rolling average now too. So he has peaked in price. So we could look at cashing in on that. Because, yeah, as good as he's going, you'd imagine he will regress at some point. But again, it's all dependent on injuries and stuff. And I haven't spent too much time looking at it, if I'm being completely honest. So, um, I was just trying to think what's on this weekend. Might be able to sneak in a little preview on Sunday with the trades that I've made and updates and stuff. Um, but yeah, so for now, I'm just going to undo the changes and we'll leave it sort of as is and subject to change. But just quickly, I guess looking at captaincy options. Again, it's really just going to be between our quarterbacks. So we said, Hurts at New York, Monday Arvo, or Buffalo or playing at home to the Giants. So again, it sort of feels like maybe Allen slightly over Hurts, but we can't go too far wrong. I mean, McCaffrey against Cleveland might be an okay matchup. I think Cleveland's defense isn't that bad. Tyreek Hill's been popular against Carolina. They could probably do some business there. That's a home game too, by the looks of it. Um, I mean, if you're going to go Diggs, you might as well just go with Allen. If you got Mahomes against the Broncos, that is like the perfect VC. A bit more of an exotic VC could be Travis Kelce as the number one receiver, but I guess Holmes would really be the one if you wanted to have a proper crack at the VC loophole to go with there. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there. So as always, if you've got any comments, questions, thoughts, feel free to get them in the section below this video. If you're enjoying the content, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.